Best Bets powered by FanDuel later in the hour. Got a bunch of good games tonight. Again, we got the Jays in action, the Oilers in action, the Knicks in action tonight. And, you had sent this earlier, and Doogie and Joe from the Bridge were going back and forth on it. This Abbotsford Canucks announcer.
I saw that yesterday.
Who was attacked by a fan during the call. We have it.
Yes.
The video, the audio, everything. You guys prepared to break this down?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let's hear this guy.
Got some Yahoo chap chirping at me from behind. Get out of here. What was he doing? Security. Try that again. I'm fired up. He threw my chair at me. Hit me right in the back of the leg. Like, what was he doing here? Unreal. Have another beer.
Can you imagine during a game, like most guys would be like, I got to turn the mic off and this play's got to go silent. He just let it fly.
I kind of love that. I love it. It's like, like a streaker on the field of play. Like some broadcasters don't acknowledge it. Kevin Harlan's like, I'm doing play-by-play on this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to live with it. And that's the thing about certain rinks. That's an American Hockey League rink, and you look at like Rimouski in the Memorial Cup. The NHL, you can't get to the broadcasters, right? They're tucked away. In the minors, you can kind of just walk around and see them.
You can get to anybody in the minors. Seriously,
Yes.
like it is.
That's a dangerous game. You got a guy that's had 15 beers throughout the day wanting to climb up where there's a microphone and bother people.
And what's he yelling at the play-by-play guy for?
Yeah, like what did he do?
What
like
did
it's
that
his
guy
fault.
do?
His team's down 2-0.
Right.
Like that's the most insane part.
Threw a chair at him. Threw his chair at him.
I gotta ask Dottie. We'll bring it up tomorrow. I believe this might have been like going back to 06 or something. Didn't a guy try to get on stage or something, attack Bobby Mack? And Bobby Mack.
I think it was
pushed
at
him
the
off?
All-Star. No, I think it was at the All-Star game, and Bobby Mack gave the guy a forearm shiver, and he went off the stage or something.
I thought it was in Carolina in the finals, but it was. And Bobby Mack, I don't think was mic'd. It might have been in the back hall, but he you're right, forearm shivered the guy right off of the stage.
That's one thing about Bobby Mack. I've done a lot of on-site sit-downs, games, World Juniors. He'll sign autographs, hello, pics, selfies. The moment you interrupt and be ignorant when we're trying to work, he doesn't like that at all.
Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable
That's
for
fair.
anyone to have that standard.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But when you cross that line, he's like, hey, man, get out of here. Just stop it. That's enough.
It is awkward. Like, it's one thing if someone's been boozing, then you understand, their clock isn't working properly, and it's also more aggravating because you can't really get to the guy. You can't reason with the guy.
Right.
But we've had these experiences where, you're broadcasting in public and someone will just start talking to you. Like you're on the air doing the show and someone's over here
at the
being
Canadian Open a couple years ago, there was drunk guy. Remember the guy that
that guy was boiled. Like that was a different scene because he was trying to get in, and then that would have been an awkward situation. I'm talking sober, like, hey, O-Dog, hey, who do you think's going to win the tournament? It's like, I can't talk to you right now. We have the headsets on. We're live.
Yeah.
Like that one is those ones are weird.
Is insano.
Yeah.
Like, if you have any brains at all, if someone has a headpiece on like this and has hand gestures and it clearly looks like they're on air talking, and you're firing out, "Hey, O-Dogs," like, what do you? No one's going to turn around in the middle of a television show and be like, "Hey, pal, how are you?" Like,
it's insanity. It's insanity.
It is. It's a complete lack of awareness. Yet I think some people freeze. I think it's one of those things you don't expect to run into someone or whatever. But this one is particularly crazy. Like, for whatever reason, this guy hates the play-by-play guy. And maybe that's it. He's just a big Abbotsford fan, and he doesn't think this guy calls a good game. I don't know what the backstory is. But that is the concern, is that, like, generally speaking, you run into people, and everyone's very nice, cordial. They just want to talk about whatever. Hey, what do you think of the Leafs? What do you think of the game tonight?
It's something about getting your attention. Like, the one guy at the golf tournaments would be like, hey, O-Dog, and it's 5 O-Dogs, and then you look and it's like, it's Jimmy from the golf course. And then you're like, hey, It's
Hey, Jimmy.
yeah, I know.
from
It's
the
like,
golf
hey,
course.
Jimmy, like, how are you?
Yeah,
It's
Jimmy,
like,
what's
they just had,
happening, man?
They had to yell your name 10 times to say, it's Jimmy from the golf course. And then you look down, you're like,
That's it.
I guess, hi, Jimmy. Like, what?
Yeah.
You're
Well,
not
we're
coming
gonna
up
see
here.
Jimmy.
Like,
We're going to see Jimmy next week.
We are going to get a few Jimmies from
A
the
week
golf
tomorrow.
course next week for
Yes.
sure.
I always love
It
it.
happens all the time. I think I
great.
told you my first ever game as a Calgary Flame in like '01 or something. I was backing up, and I'm literally sitting there. It's my first NHL game with the Calgary Flames, and a guy is banging on the glass to my left in a fur coat, and it's a guy from my grade 7 class. I remember him. I remember his name. I don't want to say his name. His name was Doug.
Okay.
And he was screaming at me, banging on the glass and saying, hey, it's Doug. And I'm like, hey. And he's yelling, call me. And I'm like, I don't have your number. And that was in grade 7. I'm, 30 years old at the time or whatever.
and it's the middle of a hockey
And
game.
it's the middle of the game. And Scott Nichols skates by and goes, hey, get your agent out of here. We're trying to play hockey. And I was like, oh, my God. I was so embarrassed.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
And I didn't know what to do. But it just, like, what are you supposed to do? He's behind the glass. Like, it's not like we can have a full conversation. And it was weird. Greg Gilbert was our coach. That's how long it goes back. Craig was our GM. So that was, like, I think, '01. And a
Yeah.
guy from my junior high is yelling at me.
You guys would have a lot of those, I'm sure, like throughout your playing career. And like,
Yeah.
you were talking about in junior, your brother's buddies yelling at you when you
Over
were
the
playing. and-
glass.
yeah. Like I had
My first OHL game, like first overall draft pick, and my oldest brother's drunk buddies that were all living in Waterloo area hang their heads over the glass, and they were just talking about yelling about beers after the game and stuff, and I'm like, my coach already must hate my guts. I'm
Right.
like, how could you
Yeah.
have the audacity to do that?
it is obscene behavior.
Oh.
Now, at least like you were the first
Crazy.
overall pick, superstar, so the coach was probably laughing.
Yeah.
But I recall, and this wasn't bad. It was innocent in nature. But my grandfather lived in Flint, like just outside of Flint, Michigan, my whole life.
Yeah.
So when I went to play against Plymouth, he's an American, doesn't know hockey, didn't know sports. So I didn't see him before the game, of course. Left tickets or whatever, and I'm in warm up. And he's massive guy, 6'5", 6'6", over the boards, waving at me.
Oh, my
Calling me
God.
over, and I got my head down. I'm doing laps, like I'm trying to warm up for the game. I can see him in my peripheral, and I'm like, I can't go over to this guy. He's calling me over, like waving me. Hey, wait, he doesn't know. He didn't know any better. Like he should have known better, I guess.
Dude, I
but-
played in London against the Knights one time, and the door opens, and it's my Uncle Norm in London, and he's got a giant bushel of